It's another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily, episode 1127, and I'm Dr. Neil, your host of the show. Welcome back to another special Friday edition of Optimal Health Daily, where I answer your health questions related to fitness, diet and nutrition, and lots more. You send me the questions, and I answer them for you. Now, if you want to send an audio question in, come by oldpodcast.com/ask, or you can call in your question by dialing 61 I love OHD. And now I'm taking email questions, so you can send those into health@oldpodcast.com. All right, I'm sure you're excited to hear today's question, so let's finally get to it and start optimizing your life. Today's question came via email. Valerie from Texas writes, are there any supplements or oils that are proven to help hair grow thicker or faster? Thanks. Thank you for your question, Valerie. I'm so glad you asked because if you were to try and find an answer through a Google search, you'll end up seeing lots of advertisements for products claiming to help improve the health of a person's hair, or, just as bad, testimonials from people claiming that something they did or a product they used helped them with their issues. So, we have to ignore those and look to more trustworthy sources. When it comes to supplements especially, my absolute favorite site to reference is consumerlab.com, and according to them, there are some supplements that may help regrow hair or promote hair health. Now, while none of these supplements are cures for baldness specifically, some of them may improve hair growth. Now, I should also mention that many of the studies I'm about to discuss were performed in men, and with only a few study participants. This means that we have to be careful before we make any claims like, what Dr. Neil is discussing will definitely work for me. As I always say, we want to weigh any pros and cons before trying any of the stuff I'm about to discuss. We have to ask ourselves, is it more likely to help me than cause me harm? If it is more likely to help than cause harm, you're on the right track. And of course, one way to determine that is to discuss any supplement you're thinking of trying with your doctor first. Okay, now that those disclaimers are out of the way, let's begin. There are some people that swear that biotin supplementation improves hair health and stimulates hair growth. Now, biotin is also known as vitamin B7, and it's actually naturally produced by the body. Our gut bacteria can create it. Biotin is also found in some common foods like oats, eggs, bananas, peanuts, and mushrooms. So, a biotin deficiency isn't very common. But when it comes to healthy hair growth, the theory is that extra biotin may help. Unfortunately, the reality is that supplementing with biotin doesn't appear to help. Now, don't get me wrong. Deficiencies in certain nutrients can lead to hair loss in both men and women. In women especially, an iron deficiency can lead to hair loss. Same with vitamin D and zinc. Not consuming enough protein each day will do the same. But most of us consume plenty of protein each day, so that's usually not an issue. So that one we can check off our list. Now, does this mean we need to start supplementing with iron, vitamin D, and zinc? No. Be careful before supplementing with any and all of these. Iron and zinc are minerals, and consuming too much of each is really easy to do, especially when you supplement. Vitamin D toxicity isn't as common, but if you supplement with it, it can interfere with certain medications. So like I said before, check with your doctor before taking any supplement. Others swear by cysteine supplementation. Cysteine is a specific type of protein or amino acid, but cysteine supplementation doesn't appear to help hair growth, particularly when we look at the studies. So, what the heck was Consumer Lab talking about when they mentioned that there are supplements that actually do work? Well, one study looked at men supplementing with 200 milligrams of salt palmetto extract along with 50 milligrams of beta-sitosterol twice a day. And they found that this led to improvements in hair growth. Saw palmetto, in case you're wondering, is actually a type of palm tree, and the fruit from it is what's used to create the supplement. Beta-sitosterol is actually a type of plant-based cholesterol. Yes, plants contain cholesterol too, but plant-based cholesterol does not increase blood cholesterol levels or increase your risk for cardiovascular disease. In fact, plant-based cholesterols are actually good for us and may actually decrease our blood cholesterol levels. But that's a different Q&A episode altogether. Now, in the context of today's question, Supplementing with both of these appeared to help men regrow some of their hair. Another study found that 320 milligrams of just saw palmetto each day also improved hair growth in men. So, even though there are differences in the amounts of saw palmetto consumed each day, it seems that there may be something to this. A different study looked at pumpkin seed oil and found that consuming 400 milligrams each day for 4 months increased hair growth in men. But here's the problem. Sadly, all of these studies enrolled small numbers of participants, less than 20 usually. This makes it difficult to draw any strong conclusions. And again, most of the studies were performed in men. This makes it difficult to know whether these supplements would help women too. But Consumer Lab does confirm that trying one of these supplements, beta-sitosterol, saw palmetto, or the combination of both, may be worth discussing with your doctor. Now, for women with alopecia specifically, there may be some supplements that help there too. Now, alopecia is sometimes referred to by its full name, alopecia areata, and it's actually an autoimmune disease. This means that for some reason, the body attacks hair follicles, which can lead to baldness or less hair growth in certain areas of the body, like the scalp. A full medical workup is important if someone suspects they have alopecia. And in women, some supplements are showing promise, specifically omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, as well as supplementing with certain antioxidants may help. And it's likely because these supplements decrease systemic inflammation. It puts the body in more of a relaxed state instead of a high stress state. Now, there is a prescription medication I should mention called Propecia, its generic name is finasteride, that appears to be quite effective at regrowing hair in both men and women. In fact, it shows better results when compared to most of the supplements I just discussed. But again, this is a medication, so you won't find it over the counter. A prescription is required, so you would definitely need a complete medical workup with your doctor before taking this medication. They would then have to prescribe it for you. All of this is to say that there are definitely options when it comes to promoting healthy hair growth. There are also topical options, but I didn't focus on those this time because Valerie specifically asked about supplements or oils, and I assumed she meant dietary supplements and dietary oils. But regardless of whichever option sounds good to you, just be sure to discuss it with your doctor first. Thank you again for the question, Valerie from Texas. You'll be entered into a very small raffle on the first of every month to win a book. And if you want to be in the raffle, send me a question. You can email one to health@oldpodcast.com. Or if you want to hear your voice on the show, come by oldpodcast.com/ask. There, you can record your question right from your computer's microphone. It's really easy, and you can even play back your message and do retakes before sending it in. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and call in your question. The number is 61 I love OHD. All right, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this show with someone. I hope you have a wonderful start to your weekend, but I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.